The following program is brought to you by Naleo TV, the People's Platform.
So this is the Palace Theater, and it is run by the nonprofit organization, the Friends of the Palace Theater. The Friends of the Palace formed in 2001.
We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization who are in charge of maintaining this historic venue and designing all of the programming to educate, inspire, and entertain our culturally diverse community.
The Palace Theater was built in 1925 by a Native Hawaiian man named Adam C. Baker. He had a bunch of movie houses, and this one, though, was meant to be like the grandest theater outside of Honolulu.
You know, the Palace, I believe, is the gem of downtown. I call her the gracious lady. There are several important things, either organizations or buildings, that are also celebrating 100 years. What does that say about what was happening in Hilo 100 years ago? It must have been the peak of delight to see brand new buildings going up that the whole community could participate in.
So it opened with 800 seats on October 26, 1925. It was one of the first to utilize stadium seating in theaters, and I believe that was because of the size of the lot. It was unique for people to come to because it had electricity. So it was just a place where people would, get dressed up and come and see a show in town.
When you walk into the building, you're hit, first of all, by the sense of history. I don't know anybody who doesn't sit down and look around, look up. They expect that something special is going to happen here because it has a history, and you can feel it, you can breathe it.
Just look at the ceiling. In a day where they didn't have cherry pickers to come up here, you don't see that in modern structures.
This is the kind of venue that does a nod to history all the time. It affects your performance to be in a place that has so much history. I'm sure every performer on this stage will tell you that. You look out and see this wondrous place, and you feel the hundreds of people have been embraced here. You cannot help but feel there's a kind of I'm getting emotional, kind of a mana to know that you're part of this cultural history, that when you come here, you sit in your seat, you take it in, you give, because there's always rapport between an audience and the stage and what's happening, right? And then it kind of washes over you.
So many of our kupuna come through and they remember coming to the Mickey Mouse Club when they were children in the 50s and could pick out the seat that they used to sit in with their grandfather, and they're so happy to bring their grandchildren into the theater now and have a whole new relationship with this venue who's been here 100 years.
There was one photograph of the Mickey Mouse Club before my time, and it was a slew of little kids all dressed up looking like they were part of the Mickey Mouse Club, dressed up for the occasion and ears. I have my own history because I came to Mickey Mouse Club on Saturdays, walked down the hill Saturday morning and bought junior mints and sat in my seat. It's the third row from the top in the middle section. But we came here because my mother actually worked here back in 1947-48. She was an usherette. I considered it a very serious job because it was the safety of the attendees.
It was one of the few buildings that withstood the tsunamis. There really was very little damage done to this building, which is shocking with how close we are to Bayfront.
When Consolidated owned it, they were using us as a film print storage facility. So this was back in the 70s, 80s when film print was all nitrate. So it's highly explosive materials. If one of these film prints caught fire, there goes Hilo. It was stop and go throughout the 90s. There was a lot of structural damage, leaky roof, There were chunks of walls that had fallen that had to be put back on. And in the 90s, there was a lot of attention from local groups and county reps to kind of revisit the theater and attempt to reopen it as a venue to host performances and movies.
The first person to really take the helms and make this into what it is now was Karen Moore. She was the director that, I think she was here from 2000 to 2013. Her with Cheryl Quack Moore. She and Karen are the ones that were the creative force to really start doing movies. Let's do concerts, let's do musicals, let's make this place thrive.
So a team came in and just started putting it back together. And by the end of the 90s, we were able to bootstrap it together to reopen the theater to host events, starting with the Hawaii International Film Festival in '99. Roger Ebert and Quentin Tarantino came out to do a special presentation and reopen the doors to the Palace.
There's all kinds of dance that's happening all over Hilo, many studios in downtown Hilo, and a lot of the studios use the Palace for their presentations. That might range from hip hop to ballet to other forms that have been brought in from other parts of the world, really. All kinds of entertainment has found a home, both at the Palace and in Hilo.
I've been with the theater since 2018. I came in under our previous executive director, Robin Worley. She retired December 2019, so I took over as executive director. So I had about 2 months of normal operations before the COVID pandemic hit and shut us down. And we had to kind of reassess what a community gathering place would be. So it was a really challenging, but also inspirational period because we came together to start the Live from the Empty Palace video series.
Philip Payson called me in and said, would you be willing to do a series called Live from the Empty Palace? We did it here, no audience. That got picked up by PBS and it got nominated for Nahoku Awards, which I was thrilled about. It gave this theater some presence and some good advertising that we're still here.
And it really kind of strengthened our relationship with Hilo and with Hawaii Island and what the theater can provide people on a day-to-day basis. Over the past 2 decades since we've been open consistently, programming and capital improvements have expanded rapidly and sustainably so far. To touch on some of the capital improvement projects that have been done recently, first project they set their sights on was to build a new roof to combat the leaking and just the general state of things at that time. We have performed critical maintenance to the in-house fire suppression system. In 2020, we did a big facade restoration where we repaired a lot of the structural damage from the 2018 earthquake and gave the front of the building a fresh coat of stucco, restored some decorative wood elements above the windows, tended to our neon sign, and it's looking better than ever.
My first musical was Annie, and under the director, I believe, was Clay Calloway. And I was hooked. After Annie, I loved it. But in those days, the sound system wasn't as good. We had these lapel mics. And I remember one scene where the kids were all in their beds and they had the blankets up. And of course, time to take the blankets off, they're rubbing on the mics. And since then, the Palace has been improving, especially with what I do. Now the speakers are mounted. We have digital systems. As you can see, we have quite an array of amplifiers. So we stepped it up quite a bit as far as, the audience getting the full pleasure of sound in this theater, which is a great theater for sound.
Installed air conditioning, built out this tech booth for our lighting technicians to provide wider range of lighting services for in-house productions. Installed overhead fans to keep our audience cooler, and we are a historic building, So there's always comfort challenges that we're facing and, working to overcome and find modern solutions for. Right now, we're focused on auditorium restoration.
It's my great pleasure to welcome you to the Paint the Palace party. Our goal for today is to just make her look good.
We are here giving her a facelift, painting and renovating and making sure that she is restored to her original glory.
I love acting and I love the palace and I love the people that work for the palace. So when I seen like they had painting volunteering, I was like, sign me up.
It's amazing. There's something like 50 people here today. Each one's working independently, and overall it's going to look like one guy did the whole job like Michelangelo's.
I just love how everybody just jumped in and said yes and bringing the skills that they have and their passion and excitement for the building. I think there's a lot of love for this special building.
And it's just such an iconic part of this town. It's like where my dad grew up going to the movies, for 5 cents or whatever. And I love that we're keeping it alive.
I think there's like a really magical spirit about this place actually. And I like coming to shows here too. They have the best shows.
It's just a feel-good treat to yourself on the weekend to come to a show. To be a part of painting and restoring it, it makes it even more special every time you come.
For the last 25 years, I feel like they've offered things that you can't get elsewhere.
I have been a fan of the arts my whole life and performed a couple of times on the Palace Theater stage, and it's just really important to me that this stays a foundational part of Hilo culture, and as it has been for 100 years.
Ever since pandemic restrictions have lifted, our operations have just been nonstop with shows growing and expanding and programming, just reaching new people. And it's been challenging to keep up with it and to keep adding new components season after season, but it's been really rewarding and you just feel so much appreciation from people coming into the space.
Round of applause before we go any further for the Hilo Palace Theater.
So every year for the past 23 years, we have done a musical theater production, mostly as a fundraiser for the Palace. It's our own production, so we choose a team that comes in and creates it and puts a lot of resources back into our coffers. For this year, we are doing The Wizard of Oz, directed by Jackie Johnson.
We went through a couple of possibilities talking about what would be the ideal production to celebrate 100 years. This is way beyond family friendly. This is family involved. We have a lot of mother-daughter teams in our show. We have one mother with 3 daughters. We have fathers who come and sit in the audience and watch their munchkins as they rehearse. So not only is the end product going to show off family values and family involvement, the whole process has been centered that way. Now for Wizard of Oz, I'm tickled that we got little kids, y'all. And we have a group of munchkins. And first of all, some of them are old pros on stage already. They're savvy. And some of them are newcomers. But they take over the stage. Your heart melts because they're cute as buttons. It's incredible. They have to pretend sometimes to be flowers and such, and they do it. During rehearsals, they sit there like this. So that will be one of the things that will affect the audience immediately, is that they're watching the next generation who's going to carry on this tradition with this start in Wizard of Oz.
Today we are making our hats for the Munchkins. So great to see the parents be as involved as they were. They were just really into it. And I think there was a good amount of overwhelming narrowness for the children because we had so many options for them. So the parents were like kind of helping them narrow it down. Okay, this or this color or this color, and the kids go, that one, you know. So it was like, you know, and dad sitting on the ground, like literally cutting out like small little detailed things, and the kids started saying, I want this and I want that, and make it happen. And the parents were like, okay, you know. So yeah, it was great to see the parents were just all in as well with them.
Even though it is intimidating, for some reason I was chosen. Auntie Jackie wanted me, and I just have to trust. At the end of the day, I have to do the best that I can, and I just have to trust the process and trust her and trust the wonderful cast and crew that we have, and that it all comes together and I get to be a part of that.
I'm most excited about just trying to bring this story to life for the people of Hilo. You know, it's one thing to say Wizard of Oz, it's another thing to sit down in a chair and get transported to another world, right? To another place, the land of Oz. So that's what I'm hoping to achieve, and that's what all the hard work is about, and that's what I'm most excited about.
Oh my gosh, the Centennial show, the 100th show, that's insane. That's so exciting. When I moved home, there was a lot of people that talked a lot about Auntie Pua, and being able to work with her, that's, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. It's been such a joy so far.
The Witch is an iconic villain. I just got to do the Wicked Witch's sort of entrance into the space the first time we see her, and it was the first time I got to hear that you know, the Wicked Witch like entrance music is really exciting. I don't know, it just like it makes me extra stoked.
It's like opening night. It's opening night. We're so excited.
I love opening night of a new show. It's kind of our first opportunity for the community and the people to see all of the hard work that has gone into the production. Many hands and behind the scenes that people don't see. And so the opening night is really the first front-facing thing that the community gets to see. And so it's always really an exciting time. You feel the buzz, the energy. Everything just kind of elevates in that opening night, and it kind of kicks us off for the rest of the run.
I'm really excited for my family to see it. You know, we as a community put this all on together, and it's going to be a big show, and I think that says something as well, just like what we're capable of, and just like I hope they feel very proud.
It's powerful, honestly. You know, this place has seen 100 years of Saturday nights. You know, it's just really profound to think about going out and, you know, performing for a town the way that people have done many times before you. So you feel a little part of something special.
I think the reaction of the Hilo audience to our stamp that we've put in the production, I want them to leave singing. And of course, there are some songs that everyone seems to know. Somewhere Over the Rainbow, of course.
Over the rainbow way up high.
I want people to be feeling like they're dancing. And we have an incredible choreographer, Elise Cabanas-Stevens, and they're going to want to do her choreography because she hit the nail on the head of exactly where her hands should be, reaction should be. It's all so well integrated that people are going to perceive it and want to emulate. So I expect them to be walking down the aisles and out the door singing and dancing.
Oh my gosh, I have to be a lion. And so I'm gonna be in this really big suit, and I'm so nervous about how hot I'm gonna be outside or inside, wherever they have me. But I'm just most excited to bring this story to life. It's such a It's such a well-known story, and I can't wait to be one of the people that gets to tell it in Hilo.
I'm hoping that the audience will kind of key into all these really iconic moments, and that the energy is just going to be really palpable in there.
Just overall, the costumes, I was really blown away by, particularly with Tin Man and Lion, Scarecrow. Those three they just came together so good and really created something special. Pomai, bless her soul, I know she was sweating through that lion costume night after night, but I couldn't have imagined a better Cowardly Lion.
I think my favorite part of playing the Wicked Witch was kind of digging deeper than your typical villain, you know? She has her own reasons and motivations for doing things, and making her a real full character was really exciting to me, and I got to use a lot of my training in ways I wasn't expecting.
I mean, definitely Somewhere Over the Rainbow is just such a iconic, special song, and there was not a single night where I was not nervous going into that song.
Well, I felt a lot of people picked up on the details. They would see one part of a costume that they would remark about, or they talked about how the four main characters seemed to be so synchronized.
I knew that we were going to create something really special, and I felt it all throughout, but hearing and feeling the audience's reaction, especially just like having my family and like my loved ones there was so special.
The Wizard of Oz was a really rewarding experience. Jackie put together such a wonderful creative team to spearhead that production, and it couldn't have gone any better. Reception has been really good. The show was a success. Really proud of everybody coming together. Really, really proud of the production.
It was a really big push, particularly the closing week of Wizard of Oz, for me personally, to still stay connected to the Wizard of Oz and the Wicked Witch, and just remember the journey wasn't over yet. I went directly into preparing for our Centennial week for the Palace.
With the anniversary date falling in October, we had developed the whole 4-day festival. Very much just a nonstop month of operating with full house attendance, just night after night after night. We kicked off Centennial weekend with a red carpet gala. We had our board of directors here engaging patrons, donors, sponsors, a red carpet environment. We encouraged everybody to show up in 1920s red carpet attire.
It's really fun to link the past with the present. You know, there are lots of people coming in saying, this is the seat that I used to sit in back in the day. And then it's also exciting to interact with first-time Palace patrons.
And we had printed a bunch of historical photos from the palace's history to put on displays.
They showed wonderful pictures from its history on one of the Centennial celebration nights. And to see the tidal wave stop right down I get kind of choked up, right down outside this door. It's almost like she survived. If she can survive that, she's gonna probably be here for the next 100.
Then that transitioned into the Centennial show, which was a stage variety show directed by our vice president of the board, Jenny Kaneshiro, showcasing individual acts from a lot of our community partner organizations.
That was like a sort of journey through history of the kinds of performances that happen here at the Palace. So we had some singing, we had dancing, we had storytelling. Friday night, we had a free masquerade boogie bash. Saturday night, we had Paula Fuga headlining, and she opened up with this awesome band, Drew Daniels and the East Side All-Stars.
Drew Daniels and the East Side All-Stars, which was a lineup of pretty much the who's who of up-and-coming Big Island artists. They could not have done any better. The vibe in the room was electric from the moment they stepped on stage to the moment they were done. And we've been kind of building towards that moment since the first episode of Empty Palace. Drew helped us conceptualize that whole series and was the first session we recorded, and it's always been the goal. It's like, we've got to get you on the Palace stage. Saturday was that day.
I'm just honored. I'm honored for the opportunity, and not just for myself to play, but this is a dream come true that I got to invite all my friends that I make music with on the regular and get to do it live and within our community. I'm honored, I'm blessed, I'm just grateful. It's meant the world to me.
And they just killed it. Like, that combination of the night was really exciting, and to have such an icon like Palafunga grace our stage again was really special. Sunday was the actual anniversary date, so it was the 100th anniversary of the opening of Palace Theater.
We're in a state of disbelief that it's come and gone already. It's one of those things, like, I've been working towards this weekend for 7 years now. Having a chance to step back and analyze, it's like, oh wow. I'm really proud of how our team came together and executed everything. Things could not have gone better.
We are looking next at continuing the auditorium renovations.
We've touched everything that we can reach at this point, so now it's bringing in the scaffolding and the professionals to help restore the decorative paint elements.
Basically just kind of continuing our stewardship of the space. My biggest hope beyond donations, I think just coming to the Palace and experiencing all of the different programming that we have to offer, and then going and telling your friends about it is the best thing that people can do to support us.
If everyone on Big Island came to an event at the Palace at least once each year, that would be a dream come true.
If they've never come to see theater, I would say don't knock it till you've tried it. It's such a unique experience. It's not film, right? But if you let yourself go there, it can feel just as deep, and it can have the same impact.
Don't be scared. Try out for productions, come and support what's happening here. I mean, everything that can expand our understanding of the arts. Aerial dances, there's hula. I just think of some of the celebration pieces that were done to honor the Palace. It had the wide range of possibilities. So I want people in the community to know they can, stick their toe in the water, try, experiment, grow with it, learn new things, and see what comes out on the other side. What would I like to see? We want lots of the intergenerational things the Palace is known for. We want them to continue that. And it should get to the point where every night there's something happen here, every afternoon.
Just more of what they've been doing, honestly. I mean, the Centennial celebrations were so wonderful, and just the way that it brings the community together is so beautiful.
Outside of the venue, we're in a really uncertain time, especially for the arts. So we're just kind of continue to offer new programs to new pockets of the community out here.
People cherish this halakalka, this theater. And I think a lot of people have personal connections to it. It took the whole town of Hilo to make the Centennial happen, but to make this place stay alive and well. So I think that's going to be like the foundation that people will approach us. It's their theater, and they're going to make sure they're part of keeping it alive in Hilo.
It's been a real honor to shepherd the Palace through this milestone, and as Palafunga was saying during her set, she's like, we're going another 200 years, and I'm down for it. It's going to take the community to continue supporting this theater to keep her prolific and offering a diverse slate of programs.